Hey guys, welcome to Rumor Wave. Now, I shouldn't have to say this every time, but everything that you see in this show is not confirmed. It is basically leaks from different people around the internet, and they are not to be taken as fact currently, but it's always fun to speculate and take a look at them. So with that, let's get into it. So the first thing that we're going to look at is a leak on the Switch Reddit, and it is from a Gamestop employee, and they are basically showing us okay, so if you're at GameStop and you're working there, you can actually hit a button and bring up all of the games for pre-orders. You can search through them and everything. And what they're showing us here is the list for the Switch. And according to their Nintendo rep, now Nintendo reps, Sony reps, Microsoft reps, they'll go to these GameStops and talk to the employees there. They'll give them cool stuff sometimes. And that's basically just to keep them in the know for what's happening, because they have to inform customers, obviously, when they come in about games, things coming up. And according to this person, everything there that is for the Switch, all the stuff that we kind of thought about, is coming to on release date. So it is a launch. Those are all launch titles. The interesting one, though, that they have highlighted, you'll see, is Monster Hunter. And I think Monster Hunter is a bigger deal than a lot of people give it credit for the system, even if it is just basically a port job from the 3DS Monster Hunter Generations. I mean, it just says Monster Hunter. It could be any title at this point. We're not really sure. I mean, it could even be a completely unique one. I don't think that's the case. I feel like we would know a little more by now, but that's what this presser this week is for. I mean, it could be. But it's good to know that they are releasing something like that would hit really, really hard in Japan. I mean, Monster Hunter is massive there. It's big here too, but in Japan is where it'll hit really hard. And that's, I think, with the type of system they're building, which is more of a portable system, that's kind of where they want to make sure that they can grab hold of that marketplace is in Japan. And Monster Hunter is the series to do it. According to other rumors, Microsoft just can't seem to catch a break with their Xbox lineup. And this is from Shinobi602. Remember, we actually used them a little bit when we were talking about Marvel vs. Capcom being talked about at the PlayStation Experience. This person actually basically told us that it was happening, that Marvel vs. Capcom, the new one, 4, which turned into Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, was coming, and they were completely right. And you'll see here in this post, they've actually said that they've heard Crackdown is not going too hot either, which is interesting, that Microsoft is just struggling badly with first parties. And here's Scalebound that gets canceled. We don't know why it's been canceled, but it's been canceled. It's very possible it could be from technical issues based on the Xbox One maybe not being able to handle it. Maybe it will eventually resurface down the road when the Scorpio is out, or maybe they'll just release it as a PC-only game. But it's very possible to think that the original Xbox One could not handle this game. Now, there's also a chance that they just ran into too many technical bugs. It was costing too much money. But Microsoft has not been shy about throwing around money to make sure that they can get the edge on their competition. Honestly, at this point, Microsoft is, to me, is hurting for first-party exclusives. And if Crackdown is really struggling as much as they say it is, then they're going to have some trouble here, because third parties are great, but it's not always the case when you cannot bring your own games out. And I'm just going to bring this up now. I've been trying to figure out a time to do it, but it's Rumor Wave. We're talking about rumors. I figure I can do that. All of those lists that you see online, there's so many of them. They're all like leaked lists that are printed out on paper, and they've been making the rounds on the Reddit, on GameFAQs, on NeoGAF. They're everywhere. I'm just going to put it out there now. Those are, I hope you guys know, those are fake. They're mock-ups that people do just for fun. I can't imagine that Nintendo lets people just print this stuff out, take pictures, and run around with it. And I mean, come on. Even the admins on the Reddit had to be like, hey guys, this stuff is fake. Stop posting it. It's not real. It's a waste of time. But people are going to do it because it's funny, or it's just fun to do, I guess. Honestly, if you did a mock-up and then you put in the title, this is fake, but I had a lot of fun making it, that's fine. And the next rumors we have are from Obi-Wan. He came out and said that, from his reliable sources, of course, Koei Tecmo is working on a Warriors game for the Switch. That's pretty cool. We got to talk about that in a second. And that Platinum Games is working on a Switch exclusive game. Now, of course, Platinum Games did design Bayonetta 2, and that was a pretty good exclusive for the Wii U, to have. And the Switch would probably benefit from something like Bayonetta 3, and that's what I think a lot of us are assuming is going to happen, is that they are designing Bayonetta 3, especially since Obi-Wan says that they started their production for it immediately after Bayonetta 2 ended. So more than likely, they were anticipating Bayonetta 2 to do well, and they're like, well, we want to have a Bayonetta 3 ready. And I think it's pretty obvious that Bayonetta 3 would do well, I think, on the Switch. Definitely with, obviously, the older audience, the more mature audience, because Bayonetta 2, while it didn't sell like gangbusters, did well with the mature audiences on the Wii U. Of course, it's also kind of not fair to that game since the Wii U install base was not large. I think if it was like the PS4's install base, the Bayonetta 2 would have done really well. But when you're trying to sell to, you know, a fifth of the customers, it's not, you know, as this other install base, it's not easy to sell enough copies to make the basically the gross number massive. But maybe I could turn around with the Switch. The hype is very high. I'm pretty confident they're going to have a very short supply of consoles, which if you don't have a lot of something and people want it more, because obviously demand is high and supply is low. We saw it with NES Classic. I'm going to tell you now, we're going to see it with the Switch. Then we have Koei Tecmo with their Warriors game, which basically IP they're going to put with the Warriors game, whether it be Mario, is anyone's guess. We did see that shirt that Miyamoto had on at the Fallon show that had a Samurai Mario basically on it, and that could be it. Maybe it's a Mario Warriors game. That would be a little weird, though, seeing Mario just swing around a sword and smack tons of enemies away. I do think something like Fire Emblem is a little better for that. I think that would make more sense, but if they really want to go off the wall, sure, Mario would work. Metroid would be off the wall, but it could work. But yes, it does look like his shirt could be pointing to Mario being a part of that. He could even be just an unlockable character. That's very possible as well. My hope would be Fire Emblem, because that just makes more sense. A big rumor that's been going around recently, it's been popping up on Reddit. I've even had some people send me emails and things on Twitter about it, that supposedly a lot of people who are working at GameStop or their managers at GameStop are kind of letting us know that they've been kind of briefed on when the Switch will be available for pre-order and how many they're going to be able to take. Well, according to them, they're going to have very limited stock, and the pre-orders will start, again, this is supposedly, according to all these people, January 13th, which would put it at the day after the presentation, so it'd be Friday. That makes sense because we'll probably get a price, we'll probably get a solid release date that same time, and those are usually the two things you need for a GameStop to take pre-orders. So if you're in the area on Friday, I would seriously recommend at least calling your GameStop, seeing if they're taking your pre-orders. If they will, drive over there after work or just go right up there and get your pre-order done, because again, the Switch, it's gonna be gouged like crazy, and it's gonna be impossible to find probably on release day. And if you've been following Red Dead Redemption 2 like I have and you're excited for it, you might be interested to know that the actual release date may have been leaked the other day. And this comes to us from a site called Littlewoods. It's a British online storefront. They have a ton of items, like a lot of stuff, and they did put up Red Dead Redemption 2 as a pre-order, and they happened to, at the bottom, put when it was going to come out. Now, this, of course, might just be a placeholder date, but the date that they have is October 2nd of 2017. You know, that's not to me, a far off date, because I'm sure a lot of it will be shown at E3, and then they'll probably go from there, maybe march towards the holiday season. And October, I think, is a good fit for it. Just right in there before the big November releases and after the smaller September releases. They could fit right in there, have a really nice entire month of October to sell games. And then, of course, they'll have restock then to then move into the December month. But again, it could just be a placeholder date, and there's no date for it yet. I do think we will see a date at E3. I still think it's coming out probably, like I said, closer to the end of the year. Definitely Christmas season, it should be out by then, hopefully. And that's it for Rumor Wave, guys. Hope you enjoyed some of the rumors that are bouncing around the internet right now. I'm more excited, I think, for the event than ever before, because then I can be done with all of these Switch crazy rumors, although I'm sure after the presentation there will still be a ton of rumors, because they will not tell us probably a word about specs. I hope I'm wrong. We'll see. Until then, guys, I will see you next time.